What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Simple Minds, and we're jumping ahead a decade in time because after finishing Real Cacophony, I've already gone through all of the albums that follow in the next 7 or 8 years. I forget what year Once Upon a Time was from, but I think 86, or was it 87? Either way, the next album after that, as far as I can tell, and once again, big shout out to not only Han Solo, who began the Simple Minds journey on this channel, but Phil, who stepped in and has provided the full catalog, including deluxe editions, which is to say, this album I have the deluxe, like, 2-disc version of Street Fighting Years 1989. So yes, we're jumping ahead a full decade, and I realize there's been a lot of stylistic evolution that I've already heard between Real Cacophony and Street Fighting Years. So the first track is the title track, so it gives me an opportunity to talk about the title of the album. And yes, it's an interesting phrase. I mean, obviously street fighting, that seems pretty straight away, though of course it could be more than just the visual, like, physical embodiment of the phrase, meaning the use of fisticuffs or weapons in fighting on the streets, which can happen for different reasons. It can happen for simple disagreements between people who randomly encounter each other. It can be part of, like, factional or gang-related fighting. It can herald societal unrest, maybe even some form of rebellion or revolution, or perhaps repressing of the uprising against the powers that be. So street fighting can happen for a lot of different reasons. Saying the street fighting years is certainly a long timeline for that to be a regularity. Now, I fully expect there to be some turn or catch or trick to the phrase. But yes, on the surface, it sounds like adversarial conflict, whether more physical or more metaphorical or conceptual. So I do wonder what will be at play, and again, the opening track is the title track, so if we are going to get an answer, it feels like it'll be here. Let's give it a listen. This is from 1989, Simple Minds, the track Street Fighting Years from the album of the same name, 1989.
Once again, my thought returns to you, my dear young friend. Come this way, we'll look down this way. I go down the street while the wild winds blow. Comes a hurricane. and the windows are so cold. I'm looking at the colors, checking out the streets. I'm counting out the numbers, I'm gonna never change. And I hear you when I love you, I follow you elsewhere. I remember this occasion, I remember this. Well, we got kind of even, we got on the streets. And I hear you when I bother you, I call you when I sick. And I hear your sister call out, and I hear her call your name. And we're calling you to remember. Things won't be the same, but don't you think that I don't care? And don't you think that I don't know? And don't you keep them calling out of place, my problem here. And I hear the wheels are turning, and I take you not to fear. And they say this is it, son, please don't shoot bad news. And I hear the wheels are turning, and I take you not to fear. And they say this is it, son, please don't shoot bad news. And I love you, I live for you. And I want to do all I want to do. And I hear the wheels are turning, all I hear is they're calling out to know.
Damn, that is a crazy opener. I'm trying to think how to characterize what I just heard. Something like soundtrack rock orchestra overture. Like it really feels like the beginning of some epic, not futuristic necessarily, but certainly like, I don't know, like a space rock overture to what will be some big epic narrative tale. And yeah, like number one, it doesn't sound like the first couple albums which I just went through, in the last several months. So that's to be expected when you jump ahead several albums in 10 years. I guess it sounds a little, I mentioned when I was going through Sons and Fascination, Sister Feelings Call, that there was a bit of art rock meets soundtrack music. This feels like that though in a different way. And admittedly, I remember a lot of people commenting theme for Great Cities and tracks from that era that they thought it was maybe Simple Minds' best era, and that by the time you get to the mid 80s, and I think one of the most stinging comments I heard or saw, and I think it came from more than one person, is that they almost tried to be U2 too much or something like that. They started making arena rock type songs or kind of big stadium pop rock tunes. And though I absolutely enjoyed Sparkle in the Rain and Once Upon a Time, I get that it was notably different from New Gold Dream and the other couple albums that I mentioned. So just trying to chart the sonic evolution. But again, my ear is interested in a lot of different stylings. This, again, it doesn't sound identical to the stuff from the very early 80s, but it feels like it's more in that direction than Once Upon a Time, certainly. So, yeah, I'd be keen to hear more of the album, and of course, people might have a different opinion. I'm just kind of digesting that opening tune on the first listen. But yeah, I like the scale of it. It was epic. Kerr's vocals, really got intense, especially in the second half of the tune. Once again, and maybe not because he was speaking or singing in sort of a muffled, hard to hear phonetic way, but more because some of the vocals were kind of within this larger and big epic sonic soundscape that I didn't catch everything. But what I did catch is he turns around and this other person, or maybe this life or this society or whatever the entity was, it's long gone. And then by the end he's saying things don't tell me I don't care, don't tell me I don't know. And so it seems like there is some significant change happening, and maybe a change that's not for the best, but ultimately, or not to everyone's liking, but he's trying to indicate that he's aware and he's mindful of it and has some investment, emotional or otherwise, in whatever's happening on one side or the other. So yeah, it's the kind of song I need to hear again and let it sink in. I don't know what to make of the title. I don't feel like I'm any closer to understanding the title, though again, if there is some societal change or there is some conflict born of like powerful opposing forces and an uncertain future, then perhaps, there is some literal relevance there, but I look forward to any insights people have. But yeah, I love the like keys, very dramatic, the like just again the percussion and the soundscape overall, it just felt big, expansive, and like full, not like cavernous or very spacious, but like a dense and large soundscape. And I definitely enjoyed the vocals, as I said. So yeah, a really stunning tune. I wonder what people think of it. Do let me know. Once again, shout out to Phil and to Han Solo and others who've been part of this deep dive for now, what, like three and a half, something like that, years. So yeah, looking forward to more. And indeed, there are multiple more albums, I think, leading up to like 2022 in the folder. And at least some of these, including this one, there's like second discs, which I assume have like non-album tracks or demos or maybe live performances. So plenty more Simple Minds to go. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.